Okay, we are discussing the Leeds view here on Terrace Talk, where we review all 24 clubs. And this week we are looking ahead to Leeds versus Rotherham, which should be the world's biggest home banker on any coupon accumulator this weekend. But as Steve, our Leeds fan, knows, sometimes Leeds, when they take their foot off the gas, can produce some unpredictable results. How are you, Steve? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, all really well, thank you. How are you doing?
No, good, thank you. We'll bring in Reese, our Rotherham fan, in a second, but let's talk all things Leeds first of all. So Southampton are on their roll, but you're putting a little mini roll of your own together, aren't you? Quietly behind the scenes. How's it looking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Southampton they're on some run of a lifetime. I think it's the best in the history, isn't it? What they're doing. So we just need to keep going. I mean, start of this year, we've got 5 wins on the bounce. I think we've only conceded 2 goals in the league. So yeah, some really impressive performances. I think Friday, especially, I guess, a little bit scared going in Friday night away at Bristol, knowing that their fans would be up for it. But I thought we were absolutely class. Yeah. We should have probably been 2 or 3 up at half time. I think only Andy Hinchcliffe in the whole football world didn't think it was a penalty against Ruther. It was amazing. I don't like VAR, so I don't really want that in the Championship. But yeah, I think if VAR's there, it's a definite penalty. But no, some really good, slick football. Ampadu, who's gone into centre back alongside Rodon, has fitted in there really, really well, especially with a loss of Stroik, has made that change pretty seamless. So yeah, it's all looking well. And as you've already said, if you're a betting man, you'd like to get this on your racker, but Leeds being Leeds, you just never ever know.
Just a couple of mentions of a couple of players. And Archie Gray, we've highlighted on this channel before, but what a player! I mean, the fact you've still got him in this January transfer window, obviously, is testament to either people aren't watching his performances enough, or Leeds have absolutely put a cast iron. No, he's not going anywhere. How do you rate him?
Probably the best young player we've had in a long time. I think Lewis Cook was excellent when he first came through to us. Obviously, big mention to Fabian Delph, but yeah, Archie Gray's got some future ahead of him. Fortunately, we actually tied him down to a new long-term contract as well, which I think helps cement his focus on Leeds and on what we're doing. And of course, there's a big family connection for him there. He's a massive Leeds fan. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we'll keep him for the rest of his career, but definitely going to enjoy him whilst we do have him. And, he's a centre midfielder, so to be playing at right back with the maturity that he is doing, it's excellent. And then when we go watch him at Elland Road, he's got all of us behind him, and it's just the composure of him is incredible, and the technique. I don't know if you saw the little clip of him starting to do some tricks and flicks in the box at one point in the second half, and
saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, we were all laughing at that. So yeah, he's an absolutely gem of a player, and plenty more to come, I'm sure. But yeah, certainly an exciting prospect for us.
Okay. It's an unfair question, this, but I'll ask it anyway. Compare this football to Bielsa's football. What are you enjoying watching more?
I mean, I'm Bielsa every day. I do love Farke. I mean, what Bielsa did with, all due respect to them, was very Championship players. The season before we'd finished 12th. And then he came out and we were playing this sort of explosive football. Was incredible. What Farke has had the fortune of doing is being able to get some well-established players. So players like Ampadu or Joe Peru, just as 2 mentions, as well as even players like Rodon. I think there's probably a bigger expectation that we should be better with this squad. What Bielsa did was, that was just unique. But Farke, all credit to him, as from what he's had to come into a really turbulent summer, lots of players leaving, conditions that weren't placed on him. So we'd had lots of really bad contractual clauses which allowed people to go on loan. Once we were relegated, that was just completely out of his hands. But the way he's dealt with players like Nonto who wanted to leave, but he didn't have that clause, and he, for a better term, he put him in his place and has made him wait on the sidelines, while Somerville and Dan James have absolutely thrived under him. Defensively, especially since the turn of the year, going back to Ampadu and Rodon at centre-back, looking really strong, gifting very few chances as well, which is really important. Bristol City did have one big chance, and it would have been typical Leeds for it to go in, but thankfully Meslier made a good save. But if we're limiting teams to really limited chances, we know that we're going to be creating chances. Farke made a really good point after the game that if that was 4-0, which it could have easily been, we'd have been talking about champagne football.
Yeah.
Actually, 1-0 makes it look like one of those just gritty results on the road, but still, it's a win. So, yeah, Farke, Bielsa, the argument for me, it stops. It's Bielsa, but absolutely enjoying everything Farke's doing. Okay. Absolutely class.
Just one slight negative. Somerville is a greedy player who should pass more. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's hard. It's hard to tell you you're wrong, because there is some times where you do want him to square it or give that off, but at the same time, he does just create a lot of chances. And I think for someone who's creating that many chances and has been that good this season, I can let him off with the goals that he's scoring. I think he deserves that. He's created that opportunity for himself. So, okay. Yeah, I'll let him off on times, but yeah, I'll agree. Sometimes he can be a little bit greedy. There was one actual chance where he went through. I thought he was going to shoot himself, but he laid it off to Glenn Kamara, who was unfortunate, took a bit of a heavy touch. So his assists are still good. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword on Somerville. Right. But as long as he's getting the ball, that's all that matters.
All right. Okay, let's bring in then our Rotherham fan, and let's preview then this game. Good evening, Reese. How are you?
Good evening, mate. I'm good. You?
I'm not so bad. Are you looking? Oh, you're looking forward. Looking forward to your trip to Ellen Road.
Yeah. I think I am actually. So it should be a good game.
Yeah, because when Leeds visited your place on a Friday night, everyone was expecting you to get turned over, and actually you got a spirited point from that game, so you can do it again.
Yeah, I think so. I think Leeds are just used to playing a bit of a Premiership football when they're not physical. Unfortunately, we just show them, we just rough around a bit, and then they tend to fold like a cheap deck of cards. So we'll see.
Reese, when the fixtures come out, is this the first fixture that Rotherham fans look for?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think it's quite. I quite like these games because they're not too far. As well as Leeds coming to Rotherham, it's not a far distance for us to travel. Same as your Wednesdays, same as your local teams, aren't they? So it's a nice where you're not travelling miles like going to Swansea to get your butt kicked. You know what I mean? It's just one of them where it's just it's like a local team.
You've been obviously watching your team more than we have. Is there anything that you've seen or you can suggest that can convince us this is not going to be a 3-4-0, 5-0 thrashing this weekend?
Apart from, to be fair, I think now we've got Liam Richardson's in there now. He's changing a little bit of the formation of the team, I think. Instead of just Victor Johansson just literally booting the ball down to the other end of the pitch, they tend to they're playing it a little bit more from the back every now and then. You know what I mean? They're still doing it like they did the last game, which I watched, but they are doing a little bit more, like set pieces. They are being more critical and tactical about things. So fingers crossed. Like I said, we've been more. The last time we played Leeds, obviously, we're a bit more physical. Hopefully, we can try. And we obviously with that we got a result out of that. Although we lost, we still got a goal in there. So you never know. We can be a bit more physical with them, and hopefully, might tip scales a little bit more.
Okay.
Are we?
Steve, what did you make of that Rotherham game? I don't know if you were there or not, but you've got to be ready for these tackles flying. And I think on this one, I mean, this is not going to be a pretty game.
No, absolutely not. Listen, I'm all right with the tackles, but when Peltier is trying to snap legs in penalty areas, I think that's probably a step too far. But no, it's going to be a physical game, and with all due respect to Rotherham, I think that's what they have got to offer us. I think their chances of success on Saturday will lie with sort of frustrating the crowd. If they can sort of make it about them and fouls and somehow, frustrate us, fair enough. But we are going to be, going at them. Elland Road this year with the only unbeaten team out within the EFL at home. So yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Rotherham. I think I'm probably looking at it a little similar to when Huddersfield came. Huddersfield had a 5-4-1 formation. I think Reece, you'd probably tell me better, but I think that's probably going to be the formation on Saturday.
Yeah, something similar. Yeah,
and when that's low block, they're going to invite that pressure onto us, which I think can be a bit of a dangerous game. I think the teams that have done the best against us this year have been the ones that have been brave enough to play and take the game to us. So hopefully we can skip a few of the challenges and get through the wings. We've got Dan James back as well on Saturday, I believe. I think he won't be fit for the FA Cup game tomorrow, but should be back for Saturday. So yeah, I'm hoping a nice easy win.
Okay. Let's get some score predictions then from you both. Reece, you could go first.
I am going for a 1-1 draw.
Oh, amazing. Good. I love the positivity. Steve?
Just taking into account the way we are at home and the players that are on form at the moment, I'll say 3-1.
Hey, love it. All right. Okay, if you're a Leeds fan and want to follow Steve for the rest of these 16-game journey that he's going to be on for the next number of weeks, it's going to be up and down. The 3 teams battle for one place. Please drop us a subscribe and a like. And if you're a Rotherham fan also that wants to compound your own misery with Reece's week in and week out, it'd be also good for you to follow as well. Thank you both and enjoy the game this Saturday, Elland Road. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.